Hello, Just Lee. It is our first day back, and I'm sure you guys have had a great day at school, and now it's time for a snack. And this year is going to be a little different because you're eating in your classrooms, and then also I'm not coming in there and doing a devotional with you all together like we did last year. So right now, you're going to be watching me on the TV screen, and it's super cool, but it's also very different. So I want you to know that this is the way it's going to be for a while. So just do your best to pay good attention to the video while you're eating your snack. Enjoy yourself, relax. You've been at school all day. You need a minute just to rest. So just relax and listen and pay really good attention to the Bible lesson. Okay, so we are going to be studying a really awesome topic this week. We're going to be talking about what God teaches us about justice in the Bible. Justice is a big word, and I think it's a good thing for you to discuss with your class what you think justice means. So if you want to, you can take a minute and you can stop the video and talk about it as a class to say, what does justice really mean? And what I want to talk to you about justice is that we are going to be learning about how God wants us to speak out. That's what we're going to talk about today. We want to speak out for justice. That means when we know that there has been something that has been done wrong, and we know that it needs to be made right. And that's pretty much, what justice is. When something has been done wrong and we know that it needs to be made right. That's justice. So we want to speak out for justice. God actually commands us to do it. And in a minute, we are going to learn a memory verse that's from the Bible where God tells us to speak out for justice. But first, what I want to do, I want us to talk about a special lady from the Bible who did it. And it was very scary what she had to do. And we're actually going to be reading about her all week because the book is a little long, but it's a really good book and I think you're going to enjoy it. So if you've never heard of this lady, her name is Esther. She's one of my favorite women from the Bible. She was a queen, and we're going to read about what she did that was very special as a queen. We'll go ahead and start. Okay. Far away and long ago, an announcement swept through the ancient land of Persia. King Xerxes was searching for the most meek and the most beautiful woman in the land to be his queen. In the country lived a kind and gentle girl named Esther. Her cousin Mordecai brought Esther before the king. The king took one look at her and chose her as his queen. Mordecai often sat outside the king's gates, listening to the gossip. One day he overheard two guards plotting to kill the king. Mordecai told Esther, who in turn told the king, King Xerxes, that then had the men arrested and killed. One day, one of the king's officers, a man named Haman, was honored by the king. Everyone at the king's gate knelt down to Haman, all but Mordecai. Mordecai was a Jew and bowed to no one but God. Okay, you know what? I'm going to make sure I zoom in on the picture so that you can see them better. Haman knew Mordecai the Jew, and when he saw Mordecai refuse to kneel, he grew very angry. He vowed to kill Mordecai. Haman was so angry he vowed to kill all the Jews. He needed only to name the day. To do so, Haman and his soldiers cast lots, called Pur. Haman then had to tell the king what he had decided. He said, "Did you know that there are people in your kingdom who defy the customs and the laws of the land? It would be best to put these people to death." With this lie, Haman obtained the king's permission to have the Jews put to death. the word went out that the Jews were to be killed in the month of Adar. Mordecai wailed and wept, and then all the Jews tore their clothes and dressed in sackcloth, the custom of mourning. Esther had not heard of the king's decree, and when her maids told her about Mordecai, Esther sent him food and clothing. But Mordecai sent this reply to Esther: "Don't think that you will be spared just because you live in the palace. When the king discovers that you are a Jew, he will kill you too. Who knows? Maybe God made you queen just for this moment." All right, we're going to stop right there, and we'll read some more later. But basically what has happened is this king named Xerxes has taken Esther into the palace. She is from the land, and he wanted the most meek and the most beautiful. And here she is. Well, after she gets into the palace and becomes his queen, her cousin Mordecai was not kneeling and praying to the king. And he wasn't kneeling because he didn't believe in that. He believed in kneeling and praying to God. Well, this man that was part of the land got really jealous, and his name was Haman. And so he told the king, he said, "You know what? They shouldn't be bowing down to anybody but you. So why don't we say that everybody that does that has to be killed?" So when that decree came out, Esther's cousin Mordecai sent word to her, and he said, "You know what?" And he said, "It's probably going to happen to you too. Even though you live in that palace, when he finds out that you believe in God like we do, he's probably going to kill you too." And then he says at the end of his letter, "Maybe God made you king because he knew this was going to happen. Maybe you were chosen to do something about it." So we're going to find out. Now, when you ask, what does this have to do with justice? Well, in this story, it's talking about a king that makes a law that basically says you can't worship who you want to worship. And that really wasn't right. It wasn't fair. And we in America are very blessed because we do get to worship who we want to worship. And we get to worship God without being sent to jail or even being killed. And there are some places in the world right now where that is the case. But in this time, it really wasn't fair. And it really wasn't right. And it really isn't fair today either. And those countries that have that law where they can't worship who they want to worship, some people that are Christians there live in fear. And it's really not right. But it is how it is, and that's how it was back then. And so what Mordecai's telling his cousin Esther to do, he's telling her, go seek justice for us. Go do something about it. And we're going to find out what she does. And then we're going to talk about speaking out for justice later on this week. Now, with that, we have a memory verse. Remember, I told you that in the Bible, God says to speak out for justice. Well, here is where it tells us that, and we're going to learn it. Okay, so we're just going to read through it first. And it says, "See that justice is done. Let mercy be your first concern, and humbly obey your God." Micah 6, verse 8. So God is telling us that we should be looking for justice to happen, and that we should be concerned about mercy given to others. So let's just see if we can kind of learn this verse together. All right, so the first part says, see. So we're going to do like this for see. And if you're done with your snack, you're already ready to do this. But if you're not, put down your snack for a minute and start trying to do the motions that I'm doing, and we'll try to all do it together. So everybody put down your snack just for a minute. Just for a minute, put down your snack. All right, now everybody do the motions. See. Okay, good job. And we're going to do like this for justice, okay? See that justice is done. Like that for done. Let mercy, so we're going to do like this for mercy. Let mercy be your first concern. Do you like that for first concern? Everybody do that? Good job. And humbly obey. Do you like this for obey? Good job. Your God. This is God in sign language. You kind of take your hand and you kind of like make it like this right here. And you go right down the middle of your face with it. Very good. All right, so let's try it again. See that justice is done. Let mercy be your first concern. And humbly obey your God. All right, one more time. Everybody try it. Because the more and more you do it, the better and better you're going to get at it. So everybody put down your snack. If you've picked it back up to eat a little bite, put it back down and do the motions with this, and then you can go right back to eating your snack. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. See that justice is done. Let mercy be your first concern, and humbly obey your God. Good job. Now, it also comes, we want to learn that part. We want to learn that it comes from Micah. Can everybody say Micah? Very good. Micah 6, make a 6, verse 8. Then you make an 8. Okay, so say it with me. Micah 6, verse 8. All right. Now you can sit back. You can, if you stood up with your class, if your teacher asked you to do that, you can sit down and you can continue eating. And if you didn't stand up, you can stay seated and you can continue eating. All right. We're going to stop right there for our devotional and we're going to move to something else. We didn't get to do this very much in the summertime. So I really want us to make sure that we do this every day. And then when summer starts back, we're going to try and do a better job of doing this during the summertime too. But we want to talk about our rules. Okay. Now, we're going to be talking each day about one of the rules because I want to make sure that you understand what these rules mean. And we're going to say them every single day, but I want to make sure that you understand what it means to follow each and every one of these rules. Now, we've talked about this before. How many of you remember, I say it a lot, how many of you remember why we have rules? Why do we have them? This is a great time to stop the video and talk about it as a class. So if you need to, go ahead and do that. We have rules because we want to keep you safe and to keep you happy. If we didn't care what happened to you, we wouldn't have rules. And think about this. If we didn't have these rules and you could do whatever you wanted to do, well, that means that right now you could be running around the classroom and being crazy and running down the hallways. And let me ask you something. Do you really think that everybody would be safe and happy if that were the case? If everybody was just running around being crazy? I don't think so. I think some people would get hurt. Some people that wanted it to be quiet like it is right now and wanted to listen to the devotional would be having a really hard time because people would be running around the classroom and down the hallways and they wouldn't be able to hear and concentrate. And then they would get sad and they would cry. Well, we don't want those kinds of things to happen. So we have some rules for you to make sure that you stay safe and you stay happy. All right, so let's just say them together, okay? Let's do this. Today, just eat. If you have finished eating, you can say the rules with me. And if you haven't finished eating, continue eating. And what we'll do, I'm just going to read off the rules to you because some of you are new and you've never heard these rules before. So I think it's good for everybody just to hear the rules and let it kind of sink in. And then later we will take the time during snack for everybody to stand up like we used to do last year and say the rules together. All right, but today you can just listen. Number 1, listen and follow directions the first time. Number 2, raise your hand and don't blurt out. 3, respect others with your words and don't use foul language. Number 4, keep hands and feet to yourself. Number 5, no cell phones, electronics, or toys in program. Number 6, respect the property. Number 7, no illegal drugs and no weapons. Number 8, remain seated facing the front and quiet on all buses and vans. Number 9, no kicking balls in the gym unless it's a dodgeball. Number 10, stay out of the ice machine. 11, hang all backpacks and coats. 12, remain seated while eating snack. And number 13, delayed obedience is disobedience. And last year, we actually added a rule to it, so I need to retype these up. But our new rule that we added to the end of it, so it's number 14, is keep your shoes on your feet at all times. All right, very good. Now, let's just look at number 1 really fast. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. Listen and follow directions the first time. Okay, it's a big one. It's sometimes the hardest one. Okay, now we know this. And this is something that you do at school, you do at home, you do anywhere you are, because it's very important when an adult gives you instructions to follow that you do it the first time. And that way, nobody gets upset, nobody gets hurt, and the rule is followed instantly, and then you can move on about your day. Because when you don't follow directions the first time, then you get in trouble, or you've already been hurt because you didn't follow directions the first time, or you've already got your feelings hurt because you didn't follow directions the first time, and it's just no fun. So, everybody remember, it is very important when an adult at Just Lead gives you instructions to follow, that you do it not 5 minutes after they've told you, not after they've told you 3 times, but after they've told you the first time. Okay? And that counts for all the adults that are at Just Lead. That means Mr. Matt. That means me. That even means Mr. Trey. Even when Mr. Trey gets a helper soon, you'll have to follow that person's instructions as well. That means Miss Sheila, Miss Sydney, Miss Allie. And sometimes we have some really nice people that come in and volunteer for us, like Miss Charlie. Miss Charlie's going to start helping us out. And so when she's there, we want to make sure that we follow her instructions. And sometimes people from Emerald Youth come and visit us, like Miss Lindsay, Mr. Caesar, and they come in just to kind of make sure everything's going okay. But sometimes they will come up to children and ask them to follow an instruction. And you must follow their instructions the first time. When? The first time. That's right. Okay. So that is that. And what we're going to do right now, before you go on about your day, I'm going to tell you about something really, really awesome. This year, for birthdays, we are doing something super duper special. We're going to be doing, if you came in the door and you saw the big birthday banner that I had up for a hottie, that's going to be up for every single person. Now, we started with a hottie because a hottie's birthday happened in August. And I wanted to start with any birthdays that were in August, and then they continue on. So your birthday banner will be up, and then you also get a birthday hat, and you get to wear it all day long at Just Lead when it's your birthday. And even though a hottie's birthday happened earlier on in August, we weren't together. So we're kind of making up for that time and we're celebrating it now. So you get a birthday hat, you get a birthday banner, and I'm going to take your picture by it. And you also get a cupcake. And not only do you get those things, but you also get a super duper duper cool birthday pencil. Now, I don't have it with me right now to show you, but it's super cool because it says happy birthday on the pencil, and it's got a cupcake eraser on the top of it. It's huge, but it's super awesome. And I bet you could take that to school, and then you could tell everybody about Just Lead and how we celebrated your birthday and how we made it awesome for you. So we've got some really cool birthday traditions. Now, a few of you got birthday cupcakes today that had birthdays back in the summer, because I kind of forgot about passing out cupcakes this past summer. And so today you get it, and we're going to celebrate your birthday. One person that we forgot to sing happy birthday to over the summer was Juliana. Now, we're not going to sing, but I want everybody to say happy birthday, Juliana, in your class right now. So go ahead. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Juliana. And then for Ahadi, we want to say happy birthday, Ahadi. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Ahadi. And then if you guys see them today, make sure you tell them happy birthday. And it's going to make it a really awesome day. All right, guys. I love you, and I hope you have a great day at Just Lead. I'll be seeing you, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.